Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel, and welcome back to our playthrough of Arkham Horror, the card game, where we're currently playing the Dunwich Legacy campaign. We're on scenario 6, where doom awaits, and our investigators are Jenny Barnes and Agnes Baker. She gets everywhere, doesn't she, Camp Councillor Steve? And we're trying to find our way to the top of Sentinel Peak. There's a horrible ritual going on and we've got to try and stop it. But we've got to find clues. Now, we've got 2, we need another 2, and then we can make our way up to Sentinel Peak. And we've got to get up there anyway, because we've got something for Izzy. Searching for Izzy up there, which is a weakness for Jenny Barnes. So if we could get up there and deal with that at the same time, that would be marvellous. But, yes, we've got things in the way, like monsters and all sorts of like twaddle that we're going to have to deal with. Okay, so I don't think there was anything too major from last turn. Nobody said anything. So if I did make any mistakes, well, tough luck now. I'm going to go roughshod right past them and we're going to carry on. Okay, so that means the mythos phase. So let's get on with round 77. And here we are at round 77. So the first thing is a doom. We'll pop a doom there. And that means we have 9 left. So before the agenda flips, we have 9 left. Dun, dun, dun. And who is our lead investigator? Well, that is Jennifer Barnes. And Jenny, therefore, has got to pull a encounter card. Always a bag of laughs. So let's have a look. And we get dissonant voices, treachery, terror, revelation. Put dissonant voices into play in your threat area. You cannot play assets or events. Forced at the end of the round, discard dissonant voices. Okay, so we can't move anything from here up to there. That's a pity, because we're already at 8 cards down here. So that is a bit of a blow. But oh, we do have a skill, so, but it is overpower. So, you can't play assets or events. Yes, so that could be a pain. Okay, so we've got dissonant voices in play there. Next up is Agnes, and Agnes, she's not going to miss out on the fun. Oh no, she gets a card as well. Altered Beast power. Revelation. If there are no abomination enemies in play, Altered Beast gains Surge. Otherwise, choose an abomination enemy, heal all damage from that enemy, and attach Altered Beast to it. Forced when you enter the attached enemy's location or vice versa, take 1 horror. The Thrall is our only, and that is an abomination. So the Thrall gains Altered Beast. So we'll pop that there. Hopefully we don't have to go back to the base of the hill. Because one thing I've realised, it's been a couple of weeks I think since I've played this, and one thing I realised, I was having a look at my decks in between. I've got Arkham DB database, and I was looking at the decks, and we've got no way of healing anything. So I forgot to do emergency aid or the other one. So we're in a bit of a pickle already because our health isn't the best. So yes, that's pretty grim. Right, anyway, that is the mythos phase. And as ever, after the laugh and chuckle phase, it is the investigation phase. And here we are at the investigation phase. Our first player is going to be Jenny, who's up there at Lost Memories in the woods, sort of halfway up Sentinel Peak. Well, we've got to get these clues, so that is what we are going to try and do. Now, I think what we'll do is we will spend 2 of our resources and we'll use streetwise. We can use streetwise because it's in play, so that's great. It's already in place, so dissonant voices does not apply. And because putting things in play means taking them from in your hand to up here, and it's already in place, so we're okay. So that'll give us +3 intellect, and there's 2 on lost memories, so that is 3 versus 2 plus her base, which is 3. 6 versus 2, so we need a -4 or better, and we get a -2, so that's great. We pick that up. So we've got 3 of our clues now. Now she can actually move across to the uprooted woods. Should she do that, or should she go to ascending path? Well, ascending path is a Sentinel Hill location. That causes us problems, because there are cards that will mess us about with that. Now, she moved across to uprooted woods. Oh, that cost an action, by the way. And she's got 3 left. So, we could get 2 resources, then the move, and then we wouldn't have enough to actually pick up that clue. I think what we're going to do, because Agnes has been so awful at picking clues up, is we are going to move. So second action is to move. She'll join Agnes. And then for her last 2 actions, she's just going to have a go at trying to pick it up anyway. So it's a shroud of 2. She now has a intellect of 3. I don't think there's anything, no. There's nothing that Agnes can actually play, which is unfortunate. So I think what we'll do is it's just going to be a 3 versus 2, isn't it? So we need a -1 or better. Come on, Jenny, you can do it. What was that one? I dropped it. A -2. Damn, so close. Final action. Come on, a -1 or better. You can do it, Jenny. What have you got? A 0. Yes! So she gets it with the very final action. So we've now got 4. That's an altered path. We don't want that. We want to have a look at Sentinel Peak. As an additional cost to move to Sentinel Hill, the investigators must spend 4 clues as a group. So what we could do here is we could send Agnes up on her own. Oh, we'll have to have a think. Anyway, right, I'll have a think, because now that is the end of Jenny's turn. So we'll move across to Agnes and I'll have a think in the interim. And here we are with Agnes. What we're going to do is we're going to go for it. I think we're just wasting time doing anything else, really. And it's not connected from the uprooted woods to the Sentinel Peak. We've actually got to go through the ascending path back down here, so which is connected. So what we'll do is her first action is to move. So she moves here to the ascending path. Her second action is to move to Sentinel Peak, where she will spend the 4 clues. Here we are. And we move up to Sentinel Peak. So I'll just organise that, won't be a second. And there she is at Sentinel Peak. So let's have a look. Hopefully there's nothing nasty waiting for her. Ideally, I would have liked both of our investigators to go up there at the same time. I can't remember. I have played this before, but I can't remember what's waiting for us. I'll probably remember as soon as I flick the card over, but we shall see. Anyway, here's Sentinel Peak. Dunwich, Sentinel Hill. As an additional cost to move to Sentinel Peak, the investigators must spend 2. Yeah, we've done that. An arcane wall blocks the path further up the hill leading towards the peak. Well, we've got past that. Here we are, there's Sentinel Peak. So it's got a shroud of 4 and it's got 4 clues because it's 2 per investigator. Dunwich, Sentinel Hill, forced. When an investigator at this location draws a hex card, that investigator takes 1 damage. Oh no. It was here that the Whateleys used to build their hellish fires and chant their hellish rituals. HP Lovecraft, the Dunwich Horror. Victory 2. So if we can actually get the 4 clues, top banana. Right, let's put that there. Well, at least no monster arrived. And we've still got... Oh, I may as well have kept them 4 clues. I've got to dig them out again now. So, right. So, let's put these here. There's 4 clues to be found. And have we done ascending the hill? When investigator enters Sentinel Peak, we advance. So that gets rid of light of afar going on again, thankfully. And what we've got to do, so we might get a monster. So let's flick it over. So we go to Act 2B, which is Will the Change. Approaching the peak of Sentinel Hill, you are confronted by several citizens of Dunwich. The man in the centre of their circle is desperately trying to complete a Latin incantation. It's not working, Seth. Damn, that's Seth Bishop. One of the other men cries out. What are we going to do? The man in the centre stops his chant and pulls out a cobbler's knife. The father demands a blood sacrifice, he declares, and his face twists into a crazed expression. Before you can react, he slits his left wrist with the knife, dropping to his knees in agony. The headstone of the altar behind him splits open. A torrent of energy pours out of the stone, coalescing into the form of an open gate. Seth holds onto the stone in front of him to prevent himself from being sucked into the gate, but several of the others are startled and pulled through it. You barely manage to dig your heels in and grab hold of a nearby rock. In time to resist the pull of the gate, Seth rises, wounded but alive. An expression of pride spreads across his pained face. Put the set-aside Seth Bishop enemy into play at Sentinel Peak, with 1 damage per investigator on him. Oh, so that's only 2 damage. That's not bad. Okay, we'll get rid of that and we'll get Seth, who's here. So Seth is up here. Let's have a look at him. Seth Bishop, Sorcerer of Dunwich. So he's got 5 combat. He's got 3 plus that sort of investigator thing. Does that make it 6? Let's check. Oh, he's already got 1 damage per investigator on him. That's it. Yes, because he's slashed his wrist, hasn't he? So he did have 6 health because there's 2 investigators, but he's actually got 4 health. Yeah, because he slashed his wrist. And he's 5 to... Oh, God, he's difficult to evade. Humanoid Sorcerer Elite, and he's got Retaliate. Annie says he, Miss Corey, as how he sought to look for Seth's cows, frightened as he was, and found 'em in the upper pasture, nigh the devil's upyard, in an awful shape. Half on 'em's clean gone, and nigh half of 'em that is left is sucked most dry of blood, with sores on 'em. Good old Dunwich. HP Lovecraft, the Dunwich Horror, and it's a victory point if we manage to kill him. He just does 1 damage and 1 sanity, which is okay as far as damage goes. He's going to be difficult to kill, but let's get Jenny up there with her 45s. So he's over here. I'm not sure if he engages. Does he engage? Perhaps he does. So we'll pop him there. Yeah, perhaps he does engage. We'll put the 2 things onto him. Let's just check. Yes, we might be able to deal a damage to him during the enemy phase. So that'll be good. because he is going to like hit us with a horror during the enemy phase, and that'll put him up to 3. That's cool. She's got 1 action left, but yes, all this would have took place, wouldn't it, as soon as we move to Sentinel Hill. So let's just finish off the act. So we go to Act 3A, which is the gate opens. From the ruins of the headstone on the altar at the hill's peak, a gateway of churning vibrant energy has appeared. A force like a hurricane erupts from the gate, bending trees and pulling debris into it. The howling of the gale drowns out all other sound. Somehow you must find a way to close the gate. Objective: only investigators at Sentinel Peak may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. So in this case, previously, we could spend the clues as a group. We didn't need Jenny there. But in this particular case, in order to spend any clues as a group, Jenny and Agnes must both be at Sentinel Peak. So, oh, right, I didn't read that, and I'll whiz past it. I'll do something in the editing like to blank that out. Sorry about that. I didn't read that. It was too quick, but I only realised what I was doing after I turned it over. Don't turn it over, you clown. You're not allowed yet. You've got to find 4 clues first. Got to pick these babies up. She has got 1 thing left. An action. Well, she's got to attack, hasn't she? She has got to attack. So she has... Oh, she ain't got the fire axe. I should have done the fire axe for a first action. And then, because I don't want to put it'd be an attack of opportunity if she doesn't attack. She's got to attack. Unfortunately, we've got no, what's the word? We've got no offensive cards actually in play. So it's just a question of her 3, because she's got the key of this, her 3 combat against 5 combat for what's his face, Seth Bishop. I think the only way that we can actually put anything on him here is if we get an elder sign. Oh no, we can't even do that because we only get +1 if she's lost any horror. She hasn't lost any horror yet. But we've got to pull out anyway. So she has a go. She has a struggle with him. Perhaps she's trying to, you know, his hand. He's caught on that rock. He's trying to stop himself going into the gate. Perhaps she's trying to prise his hand away. And she gets a broken tablet. That's not going to be good, is it? Broken tablet, -2. -4 instead if it is agenda 2. I think it's, yes, it's agenda 2, so it's a -4. But that's fine anyway, because we were going to fail. It was, what was it? It was 2. It was 3 against 5 anyway. We needed, what is it, a +2 or better. So, or +3 or better, actually. So, there we go. No, +2, because it was 3 versus 5. But, we didn't do it. Alright, and that was her last action. And, yes, we'll just have to get Jenny right in there as quickly as possible to see if we can kill Seth, and then we can start trying to hoover these clues up. Okay, that is it for the investigation phase. Next up is the enemy phase. And here we are at the enemy phase. So Seth's the only important thing here. The thrall's not going to move. So it's Seth. He's engaged with Agnes and he's going to attack. So, oh, he had retaliate. He did have retaliate, so I forgot that. So she'll have took a damage and a horror from retaliate. So I think what we'll do is poor old Peter is going to take the damage on her behalf. So we lose Peter, but remember we've got another one down here. We've got 2 of his card. So we'll put Peter over there. He's took 1 for the team. And we take a horror on Agnes herself. And because she takes a horror, she's got a special ability, which is after one or more horror is placed on Agnes Baker, deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. Limit once per phase. Remember, this is in the investigation phase. We're in the enemy phase now, but I forgot to do this. So this is an investigation phase, and that means Seth gets hit with another horror. Now we are in the enemy phase, and because it's the enemy phase, she gets hit again. And what does she get? Ah, where? She's down to 2. Ooh, it's getting close. And she goes down to 6. Remember, it is now a different phase. It is now the enemy phase, so she puts another damage onto Seth. So that wasn't too bad after all. Bit unfortunate about Peter being knocked out, but we can get him back. Awesome. And obviously we do have Jenny down there, and she's got her twin 45s. So, oh, one other thing I should have done. She's two-handed, the twin 45s, and obviously these have got a hand, the 32 Colt's got a hand as well. So as soon as I promoted the twin 45s, I should have discarded the 32 Colt, because she's not got 3 hands. So let's get rid of that. I think Bernard pointed that one out. So thanks for that one, Bernard. But yes, as soon as she promoted the twin 45s last episode, we should have got rid of the Colt, because she can't hold 3 guns at once, unfortunately. Okay, so that is it for the enemy phase, I think. Yeah, when do we get rid of this? That's at the end of the round. Okay, so end of the enemy phase. Next up, it is the upkeep phase. And here we are at the upkeep phase. I've put the actions back. Have we got any cards to refresh? No, we haven't. We're fine there. So it's just picking cards and taking resources. So we'll pick a card for Jenny. What does she get? Oh, she gets a weakness. Across space and time, this is the one we got in the Essex County Express. If you recall, weakness, madness, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Brilliant. So, and she's only got 2. So machete and think on your feet have gone. And that goes back in there. And I think this lot now gets shuffled. She takes a horror. Ah, she's down to 3 horror. She's down to 3 sanity. Ooh, it's getting close. We'll give these a shuffle. Yes, you take a sanity damage when you run out of your deck. So, oh, it's getting close, kids. And we'll do a cut. What's happened to that? And another quick shuffle. Right, there we go. So we've now got, of which we're going to lose the top of that, because we had to lose 3 cards. So this card immediately, fine clothes, gets discarded. So there we go. Right, she's up to where she's up to. So that card didn't help, but mind you, she was at 8 anyway, so it's not too bad. But I am worried about the sanity. She does get 2 resources because she's Jenny Barnes. Excellent. And then we move over to Agnes. What does Agnes get? Ah, another weakness. You've got 2 weaknesses in a row. What's going on? Discard all of your resources. Oh, look how many we had. At least we didn't use our emergency cash. But we've lost 7 resources there. Now, the card comes before the resources, I believe. So we are actually going to get 1 back. So there we go. Well, that wasn't much fun, was it, for an upkeep phase? I was hoping for some funky cards. And we got 2 weaknesses. That is appalling. So, one thing, at least we can get rid of dissonant voices. So, there we go. Okay, so that's it for round 77. I'll go and upload this, and then I'll be back shortly for round 78, in which we're going to have to deal with this guy. And here we are at round 78, and I made a balls up. Yes, I made a balls up during the, what was it, the end of the investigation phase and the enemy phase. Retaliate, and I had Agnes using her special ability, which is a reaction, whereby she was putting 2 horror on Seth, because Seth had put... 2 damage on Seth, because Seth had put 2 sanity damage onto Agnes. That doesn't happen. Let's get rid of that. The reason is we've got the key of Ease. And the key of Ease says forced. When any amount of horror would be placed on you, place 1 of that horror on the key of Ease. So we were only getting 1 horror off Seth, and it had to go on the key of Ease. So we're up to 3. Now, that's not too bad. I'd have preferred the damage onto Seth, I must admit, but at least with getting 3 sanity now on the key of Ease, that does mean that her abilities are 8 willpower, 5 intellect, 5 combat, and 6 agility. So she's a bit of a beast. She will use 10 cards. She will lose 10 cards out of her deck. However, if we get another sanity onto the key of East, so we've got to look out for that. We could have put a sanity onto Peter when we got rid of him. We could have put a health and a sanity on him, but I wanted to get that beefed up because we're going to have to pick up those clues at some point, so that'll help out. Right, okay, so there we go. And that is it for corrections from last turn, I believe. So let's crack on. And it's the mythos phase. I've got on laugh and chuckle phase, so that means a doom. So we're on 2, which means we have 8 left for this particular agenda. And it's a card for our lead investigator, who is Jenny. She gets Crypt Chill, Revelation, Test Intellect 4. If you fail, choose and discard 1 asset you control. If you cannot, take 2 damage instead. This is bad, because that means we're going to have to get rid of the twin 45s. No! That is really, really, really bad. So, what's her intellect? Her her willpower is 3. Oh, is there anything we can chuck at it? She's not at the same place as Agnes, so Agnes can't help. So we need willpower icons. We do not have any willpower icon. We've got 1 cat burglar. So that would make it 4 versus 4. Is there anything we can do streetwise? No, that's agility. Oh, this is awful. So we're going to have to chuck cat burglar. We're going to have to, we've got to get it to 4-4 at least. So we've got it to 4-4, and I was counting on those twin 45s to get rid of. Oh, just a nightmare. So we need a 0 or better. Come on, Jenny, let's be having it. And she gets an elder thing. So that's not going to do it. So let's have a check. It's probably... Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. X is the total printed cost of those discarded cards. Oh. So it was emergency cash. That cost was not 0. And come on, another 0. 3 machete. Oh, we've lost machete as well. So there we go. Oh, that is awful. And now we're in a real pickle. we're in a massive pickle now. I was counting on her to kill Seth, and she can't do that now. We've got to discard that because of Crypt Chill. She loses her revolvers in the woods. Well, her 45, sorry, they're automatics, aren't they? Not revolvers. Oh, that is just appalling. That is really, really bad. Okay, let's go across to Agnes. What does she get? We could have done with Agnes getting Crypt Chill. She could have dropped a flashlight. It's got no batteries in it. Spaces between, Hex Hazard, Revelation. Flip each non-Sentinel Hill location in play to its unrevealed side, removing all clues from it. Each investigator and enemy at a location flipped in this way immediately moves to the nearest Sentinel Hill location. Shuffle each non-Sentinel Hill location so the players do not know which is which. And, oh, well, it saves us. She's got to go to Ascending Path, that's the nearest. And so that saves us a movement at least. These go. So get rid of those. Whoop. And but at least, you know, we found our way up beforehand. So let's do some 3-card shuffling. What are your thoughts on 3-card shuffling? I think it's tremendously finicky and awkward. And yet, in the new Arkham Horror 3rd edition, they expect you to do this pretty much all the time, every time you use a neighbourhood deck. So much for 3rd edition being less finicky than 2nd edition. You have to do this. I don't know. Makes me laugh. Right, anyway, so there's those 3. We don't know what they are anymore, but it shouldn't matter because we know where Sentinel Peak is, so that's okay. Like I say, at least we've saved an action. We've moved to the Ascending Path. Oh, pants. Right, okay. Let's get rid of Crypt Chill, bloody thing. Alright, so that is it for the Mythos phase, and what a pig it was. Next up, it is the investigation phase. And here we are at the investigation phase. Now, this has taken me ages. Thanks to good old Jenny losing her bloody twin 45s, I've had to have a real thing. It's took me about 20-25 minutes to come up with any sort of plan. But we've got one, so we'll put it into effect. First of all, Jenny's going to go first. So for a first action, she's going to move. She's going to move to Sentinel Peak. She gets to Sentinel Peak. She sees like Agnes and Seth Bishop struggling at the edge of this pulsating portal, and she decides to help out, and she does that by spending another action, and she drags Seth off Agnes like that. Then what does she do? She thinks, like, what are we going to do now? I haven't got my twin 45s. What she's going to do is she's going to try and evade Seth. So how is she going to do that? Well, she is going to spend 2 of these, and she's going to use Streetwise again, but this time, instead of intellect, she's going to use it for the agility, which is +3. So we can do that as a free action. So that'll be groovy as part of the evade, and that will give her 6 agility. So 6 versus 5. That's not really good odds. And we don't have a lot of agility over here to help out either. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Hard Knocks, Think on Your Feet, and Moxie, and they have all got agility icons. It's expensive, but we need to evade this guy. So that's going to make it up to 9, so it's 9 versus 5. So we'll pop those there, and let's have a go. So we need a -4 or better, and we get a 0. That's good enough. So this guy has been successfully evaded. We'll pop him up here. Great. Brilliant stuff. Got to get rid of those. And that was her third action. Right, what's she going to do for a fourth action? Well, one of the reasons why I was taking so long thinking about it was I was trying to get sneak attack in. Got sneak attack here, but it costs 2. And I couldn't figure out any way that I was going to get 2 resources from nowhere. Because if we had 2 resources now, we could have played that for our last action and put 2 damage on him. Fortunately not. But what we can do next turn is we could do the same thing next turn. Now we're going to get 2 resources at the end of the round, hopefully. So if we use our last action to get another resource now, it means we'll have 3 at the end of the round, and then we only need 1 more next turn. So that'll only cost us 1 action. So I think that is the way to go there. So that is it for Jenny. She's pulled Seth off Agnes, and now it's up to Agnes. What's Agnes going to do? And here we are with Agnes. I had to think ages for Agnes as well. There was a couple of options. I could have played Emergency Cash, then put Fire Axe and Peter Sylvestre into play. But there is another option, and the other option is Storm of Spirits, which is a spell. And now we've actually managed to evade Seth. We're gonna cast the spell at him. You're allowed to do that, that's fine. It's not a melee weapon. But we've got to hit, because if we don't hit, everyone's going to take damage. So it's like shooting with a gun, yeah. So bit of a problem. It's big area of effect spell, but one of the good things about it is we will be using willpower instead of combat. Her willpower is huge. It's now 8 because of the Key of Ease. So what we're going to do is, first of all, Emergency Cash, and that is going to give us 3 resources. We're going to immediately spend them, and we're going to cast Storm of Spirits. Now this can do 2 damage. Yeah, so it does 2 damage to each enemy location. But if we pull one of these out, then we'll also be doing damage to each investigator at the location, which includes us, which is bad because she's only on 2, but hopefully it will be fine. Now, because this is a willpower test, we're going to put Fearless in there as well. This is mainly for the icon, because all the horror has gone on to the Key of Ease. Agnes is actually at full sanity, so we won't get the horror back, but we do get to use the icon. So that is 9. So we've got another 9 versus 5. Come on, let's do it. Oh, sorry. So that was 1 action for Emergency Cash, and another action for actually casting the spell. And we get a cultist, a cowled cultist. What's that? Reveal another token. Cancel the effects and icons of each skill card committed to this test. Oh, I've got to cancel that. So we're now 8 versus 5. Oh, is this some sort of joke? Oh, it was just skills, wasn't it? Yes, skill card. So this one's still fine. Oh, come on. Now it's 8 versus 5. -1. Oof. Oh, we only just made it. We only just made it. So get rid of that, and we put 2 of these on that guy. Oh, thank God. Right, we've just got to get 2 more onto him. And remember, we do have sneak attack, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. But yeah, because he's not a hunter, so we can choose who he goes to, so I think we'll send him to Jenny. But yes, that sounds like a plan. Okay, that is it for the investigation phase. And next up, it is the enemy phase. And here we are at the enemy phase. So this guy just becomes ready and we'll have him engage with Jenny. So there we go. Cool, but because he's just been readied, then I don't think that he actually does any damage. I'll check that, but obviously when I'm uploading and stuff, if he does, then obviously she's going to have to take a horror and a damage. But we shall see. But I think just because he readies and engages, we should be okay. He was exhausted, so all he can do is ready. Okay, that is it for the enemy phase. Obviously the thrall doesn't do anything, so we're fine. And next up, it is the upkeep phase. And here we are. We still had... Oh, she still had an action, didn't she? Wait a minute, she spent emergency cash, casted Storm of Spirit. She's still got an action left. Right. Actions! What's she going to do for an action? I think we're going to take, again, we're going to take another one of these, a resource. We might still need to use the fire axe, and Peter would be helpful as well, because we don't want the Key of East to get another sanity on it. We can actually put a sanity on Peter to avoid it going on the Key of East, because it's only the ones that are going on Agnes that end up on there. So if we stop it going on Agnes and actually put it to Peter, so yeah, a resource. Right, so now we'll do the upkeep phase. So sorry about that, and let's move all these back up. Oh, my head's in bits. All the thinking. Right, so there we go. Actions are back. We've got no exhausted cards, and it's just pull cards. And I hope we pulled better ones than last time. Here's Jenny. She gets elusive. So tactic: fast play during your turn. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies. Oh, cool. Might come in, and what was it? Oh, it was an event. Put it down there. And she gets her 2 resources, which will come in very handy next turn, I'm thinking. Then after her, it's Agnes, and her card is Heirloom of Hyperborea, artifact from another life. And yes, this is her special, isn't it? Agnes Baker deck only. As a reaction, after you play a spell card, draw 1 card. Yeah, well, never mind. So that's an asset, isn't it? Yep, that can go there. But we've currently got the Key of East, so we'll keep that there. And she gets a resource, so she's up to 3 as well. Good, good. Right, so that is it for episode 44 of Arkham Horror the card game and the Dunwich Legacy, where we're playing Where Doom Awaits. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much for all the help and support, for all the views, subscriptions, likes and dislikes. You're still watching. Thank you very much. Anybody who's been across the board game links to upvote the site, thank you. Similarly, anybody who's gone to BGG to like the video flags over there, drop Geek Gold, anything of that sort of nature, thank you very much. As ever, if you've noticed any mistakes, there could be. I was running around, I've noticed a few mistakes myself, which I've managed to catch. But I've probably missed some, so I'm sure you'll point them out to me if I've made any, and I will do my best to fix them. Other than that, well, thank you very much, and I hope you will join me next time for episode 45 of the Dunwich Legacy. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.